If you do not like to grow plants in soil, you can grow them in water. Yes, it is true. You can grow plants in water without using soil. The method of growing plants purely in water without using soil or any other substrate is known as hydroponics. In hydroponics, we use water supplemented with some minerals and nutrition for plants' growth. Hi, I am Keerthi. Welcome back to TrustBasket. In today's video, I will let you know everything about hydroponics and how to grow basil cuttings in water without using soil. Let me tell you a brief history of hydroponics from where it actually started. Let us break the science fiction with hydroponics, because the origin of hydroponics can be traced back to the ancient city of Babylon, where present-day Iraq is located. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of ancient world, is the first known example of soilless growth of plants. These floating gardens were called chinampas, which had a strong combination of roots and lashes laden with sediment from lake bottoms, providing nutrients to the crops and plantations. So hydroponics is not science fiction. If I can grow plants in water, you can too. Prove me right by growing plants in water. So first I will let you know what are the materials required for starting simple hydroponics at your home. Basil plant cuttings, water, liquid fertilizer, containers or baskets, cutter and thermocol. So let's begin the process. So the first pair of leaf and this is second pair, third pair. So I will leave only first pair of leaf here and I will go for pinching here. So you can cut the plant here to get more bushy look. So give a slant cut. You can see this is called slant cut. You have to cut at 45-degree angle. So it gets more surface area. If you put this in water, it can grow well and the roots will develop easily. So this is the process of pinching in basil leaves. I will do pinching for all the plants because I want all the plants to grow bushy. To get it bushy look, you can see here these are 2 nodes. Below that I have give cut here. You can see here I took these many basil cuttings. You can use it for salad purpose or you can use it for growing in water also. So you can keep in water in your kitchen and grow these plants into a new plant. Take thermocol and use the container you have decided to grow basil cuttings. So I am using this container for growing basil cuttings. So I am taking this measurement to cut this thermocol. We want to keep this thermocol inside this container. That's why I am taking measurement with pen. So I can first put line here. If you are sure that you can cut easily without measurements and line, you can directly go for cutting. I am just taking a line here. You can see here. So you can cut on this one. You can cut on this using this cutter. So I will again keep this pot so I can get accurate measurement. So I will start cutting. Permanent. So you can do like this in a zigzag way. If you cut plainly, this thermocol will not cut. The easiest way to cut thermocol, you can cut this easily. I'm almost done cutting this thermocol according to required size. So let's check. Okay, it came well. You can see here it came well. Required shape. I can keep this thermocol inside this container. I have prepared 2 thermocols because I have decided to grow basil cuttings in 2 containers. So I have decided to keep 3 basil cuttings in single this thermocols. So that's why I am making 3 marks here to make a hole. So if you want to grow 3 plants in this thermocol, make a marking like this, because I have decided to grow 3 basil cuttings. That's why I made 3 markings, and now I'm gonna do a hole at these 3 places to insert basil plant cuttings here. So you can make holes like this by using any sharp material like refill or anything you have according to availability. So make a small hole. It should not be too wide, because when you place plant cuttings, they will go and sink in water. So we don't want that to happen. That's why I'm making a very small hole just to insert the cuttings. You can see the size of hole here. Just do like this. You will get perfect space to keep plant cuttings. Yeah, you can see here 3 holes we have made. So you can place cuttings here. So the next step is you have to prepare plant cuttings. For that one, you have to remove the lower leaves properly without damaging the main stem. This is main stem. These are lower leaves. You have to remove these leaves. So I'm gonna remove all these leaves. You have to leave only 1 pair of leaf on the top. As you can see in these cuttings, I have left only above pair of leaves. You can keep this. If you want, you can keep these leaves, or if you don't want, you can remove this also, but I'm preferring it to keep as it is. So you cut these side branches properly, because you have to insert these cuttings through thermocol. That's why I'm cutting it properly. Make sure you will not damage the main stem. So give a sharp cut. As I gave slant cut, it became brown, so again I am giving fresh cut here. Yeah, this cutting is ready for putting in water. The next step is you have to pour water in these 2 containers. After that, you have to mix liquid fertilizer. The next step is preparing liquid fertilizer. So you have to take this complete plant nutrient solution, that is 2.5 ml, in 500 ml of water or half liter water. So you have to take 2.5 ml. I'm not measuring it approximately. You have to add 4 to 5 drops. So mix it thoroughly and add this to 1 basket. So I'm using this 500 ml of liquid fertilizer into this container or basket where you have decided to grow basil cuttings. So mix this before placing thermocol and plant cuttings. So this basket is complete now with all the required fertilizers. I am pouring 500 ml of diluted organic liquid fertilizer into this basket. Now these 2 baskets or containers are ready for placing plant cuttings. So the next step is you have to place basil plant cuttings in these holes. We have made it previously like this. So the next step is when you have inserted this plant cuttings inside this thermocol, you have to place this in this container. Place these cuttings inside this container. So now these 2 containers with plant cuttings are ready to grow. Now these basil cuttings are ready to grow in these containers filled with liquid fertilizer and water. So you can see root development in these basil cuttings within a week. So we will update you after 7 days how roots have developed. So you have to change this water once in a week to get better result and better plant growth. Hope you liked our video on hydroponics. If you like, please subscribe, like and share because it motivates me to do more videos on unique plant related subjects. If you have any doubt in the process of hydroponics, please comment below so we can answer your queries. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned. Bye until next time.